Good evening, Pike friends. Pull up a chair, and grab your favorite tobacco and your favorite pipe, and fire it up, and let's have a smoke together. Just a little Sunday night chat. Y'all excuse my voice and the cough. Some of the medicines I take for I suffer from chronic back pain, and some of the medicines I take for that tends to make me a little hoarse sometimes. I take some anti-inflammatories and some prescription pain medicine from time to time. I have to be careful with that though, because it's so addictive. But I have to really be careful with that. Because several years ago, I had a hard time. I had to getting off of it. Getting lined out. That stuff can really lead you down a road. And it's unfortunate. You can't live with it. And you can't live without it. But it combined with other medications makes me kind of hoarse. It kind of dries you out. So if I cough and clear my throat, I hopefully won't annoy you too much. But how I hurt my back several years ago, I was in the air conditioning business, and for about 3 or 4 years, we started, a friend of mine and myself started one from the ground up. Like I've told y'all before, I've always, up into the restaurant business, been in, started out in the service station business and evolved that into the convenience store business. We had 3 Texaco stations and converted one over to a convenience store, and from there it kind of went. And there was times I'd have 2 or 3 stores, and sometimes I'd just have one. My wife managed a formal wear tuxedo place, and she helped me with the stores too. And together we kind of looked after them, and then sold them 6 years ago, and went to this little town and bought this barbecue place. My brother is a chiropractor there in this little town, and he ate lunch in there a lot, and the older lady that had it was fixing to retire, and told him, and one thing led to another, and we bought it. Thought it would be a little slower pace, and in some ways it is, but it comes with its headaches too. But I was up in an attic one day and misstepped and fell through the ceiling of a customer's home. I mean, it turned into a disaster. Wound up having to have some sheetrock refinished for them, but I fell all the way to the floor and hurt my back. And of course, I was self-employed and had to contend with that. So it's been about 15 years off and on. I'll go months at a time, won't have any problems, and when it flares up, I'll have it for 3 or 4 months, And I should not have went to Dallas this weekend. We went yesterday, got up early, came back, done it all in one day, and we had about 11 hours riding. Thankfully, my wife drove on the way back. I've got a 4-door Chevy pickup. My dad rode with me over there and back. My wife drove coming back, and I just stretched out across the back seat and slept and come in last night. And of course, I had to take some heavy doses of pain meds, so I didn't want to get up this morning. Missed church. We had a big deal at church today, and I really needed to be there because I was one of the organizers of this. We had a lectureship deal at church, had 3 guest speakers come in from out of town, and it was costly to get them there. And but I just couldn't. I couldn't go, so I stayed propped up in the bed most of the day and played Civilization on the computer. I played that stupid game for 6 hours. It's a military strategy type game, but in the game you got to keep your economy going good, and you get a country at random when you start you don't know which one you're going to get when you start a new game, and you can keep this game going forever. But you got to keep your people happy and your economy going good. You got to keep your military operation running good. And other countries will declare war with you, and you can declare war with them. And you've got to make peace treaties and make deals with other countries. You know, it's a big diplomatic deal, but it's a lot of fun. And I wasted 6 hours from about 9:30 this morning till 3 or so this evening. And so the church deal didn't get over with until 3 o'clock. Like I say, it was a special deal. Normally, you know, we're out of there by 11:45. But they had a potluck dinner afterwards, and then went back for another little lectureship meeting from 1:30 until 3. So anyway, my wife and Emily brought me home Wendy's cheeseburger, and of course I always get a double, and I just told her I wanted mustard and lettuce only, of course cheese. Well, they brought home they sent her home with a triple with mustard, tomato, and purple onion on it. And you know, it was pretty good. I didn't realize until a couple of bites into it. I said, hey, this is not, maybe stumbled upon something new combo that I like. But anyhow, I've got a frozen pizza in the oven cooking. I'm gonna sit up and watch Golden Girls rerun. Me and Emily, of course, she's already asleep, but she loves to watch the Golden Girls, and I do too. I've seen about every episode, but I'm gonna slice this pizza up and take one of those little small Tony's pizza. I'm gonna take that thing, prop up in the bed, and eat like a hog in bed and watch Golden Girls. And afterwards, maybe smoke another bowl of. Oh, and by the way, housekeeping. I'm smoking gifted items tonight. I'm smoking this golden freehand plateau gifted to me by Uncle Raggy. Love this pipe, and I've had a ton of good comments about this pipe. I took it to the cabin with us. A couple of people came by to visit, and we cooked for them up there, and everybody just fell in love with this pipe, you know. And what I'm smoking in it is Cornell and Deal Cross-Eyed Cricket, and this was gifted to me from Alfred, aka Henry Sims. And Alfred, I've told you this before. I've taken a good liking to that, and that's something I'm going to keep in the rotation. Yeah, I just fill this thing up with fluid too. I think it's like an old truck I used to have. It'll get flooded. No, this cross-eyed cricket, you know, I want to, and it's still tied top end with my top favorite, that Houdat and the McBaron plum cake. And you know, McBaron plum cake has Perique and a light dose of Latakia and some Jamaican rum, and this tastes very, very similar to it, minus the rum. And this, I'm telling y'all, if you like the McBaron plum cake, you'll like it, minus the rum. And let's see, what does it say? It says an unsweetened black Cavendish base with Turkish Latakia and Perique, lightly flavored with rum punch. Excuse me, it does have rum in it. I thought it was real similar to it, because I'm thinking, when I said minus the rum, I'm thinking, well, you know, that ain't right, but letting my imagination run wild don't hurt to read on something, does it? And I knew this. I'd read it before. Come on here. But I'm going to show y'all this. You know, not only does Cavendish, black Cavendish, make for a great smoke in its own, great additive, great all the way around, but it's pretty too. It really makes a tobacco blend have some character. I mean, you can look in there and see this, and this camera don't do it justice. But brothers and sisters, y'all can see this. It makes for, when you open it up, it makes for a pretty look too. I watched, it's all about Pike Mike's video about the situation going on in the community between a couple of presenters, and seems like some things was taken out of context, and Smoking Padre, what he said about becoming a monarchy was, to me, it was full of it was strictly a funny, sarcastic comment, not meant to, in my opinion, not meant to be taken anything but that. And of course, this thing is really gaining a lot of steam, and it looks to me like it may really get out of hand. And I hate that, because we went through this several months ago. Alfred remembers it, and he can tell you it got ugly for a couple of presenters. And this is a great group. I'm not really a follower of either one of the presenters. That I watch some of their videos, and I don't think they're followers of mine, but they both are good gentlemen. And one of them came back with a really harsh comments about it, and kind of took it to another level, in my opinion, and it was just all uncalled for. And I hate that this is supposed to get started up again, but it surely looks like it. That's one thing I try to do, is I will occasionally make a political comment, and on one of them I kind of got off on a tangent one night about how they are, when there were some of the companies like Boswell's were no longer going to be able to take credit cards because of some bureaucrat within the Visa organization. Well, our government's the same way. There's always some kind of crap going on. And I get real upset, but I try to avoid turning this into anything political, because there are several other sites that I go to that are political, and I come here to try to get away from that bull. You'll hear me occasionally say something political, but I do my best to refrain from it, and most all of us seem to do that, because, like I say, there's so many other forums you can get political on, and I got 2 or 3 that'll cause my blood pressure to boil. I tend to use this to meet with friends and enjoy a pipe, and if politics get in it sometimes, that's going to happen. But I'm a very conservative person by nature, and my political leanings lean real heavy on the conservative side. But that being said, I believe in everybody's right. I certainly believe in freedom of speech, and I'm one of those, if you respect my right, I'll respect yours. And I guess I'm more of a libertarian. I'm one of those live and let live kind of persons to a degree. We do have some issues now that are bad in this country with our leadership, and it's on the other hand, this person that made the comments that went a little overboard, you got to agree with some of what he says too. Just don't like I think you can't you can't go back then and start really cutting somebody up the way they dress, or the way their profession, or their religion. Then you just take it to another level. But like I say, this just looks to me like got out of hand. Well, got my Yamaha outboard hat on, signed by a bunch of pros. We got this at a Bassmaster Classic deal. I wear it occasionally. Emily got her one too. And look, I'm running out of time. I'm 14.5 minutes. But just thought I'd share this with y'all and do a little rambling and pipe smoking. Y'all have a good one, and catch you next time. God bless.